Hey, friends. So, I've continued my journey with fear. And I really get the sense that that's what it's about right now. Like that's what I'm supposed to be reckoning with, working with. Quick blitz recap. I have a couple of physical injuries that are, well, one of them anyway has been diagnosed, and it's a tear in a ligament, a torn ligament in this wrist. And that was the first one. Then I got this shoulder thing because for whatever reason I pushed myself so hard while running that I fell. And all of it, I did my post on this yesterday. This is the thing. I think I might have even said on my post yesterday, I think I'm going to be talking about this a lot. And, I said that because I think that's true. And I had when I went to bed last night, I went right back into this fear spiral. And I was like, didn't I just do a post on how this is a gift? Like literally, I don't know, an hour ago? How long ago? I just had myself in that perspective where it's all a gift and it's all happening for me. And so check out my post from yesterday if you want to kind of hear why, a pretty good, I think, explanation of why I think any injury is a gift. But that doesn't stop me from pretty quickly coming back to a place of, yeah, but what if I can't use my right hand for the rest of my life? What if this weakness is one that gets worse and that gets more painful and or I just become increasingly unable to engage with the world? Which, I think as a pianist and a very physical person, yesterday I talked about how I think taking away my ability to deflect into physicality, in other words, deflect from kind of deep realization and deep presence into a kind of physical, I called it a hedging against death, or a hedging, which is ultimately a hedging against life. It's a hedging against being present, which I would do through the physical body. Taking that away is an awfully good thing if someone wants to make real progress on a kind of spiritual level, on a deep level. But then I come back into like practical brain, and it's like, but what if I, and so what I said a moment ago, I think as a pianist and as a physical person, it is particularly scary to me. Or at least it's a particularly, I'm particularly attached to the things that it feels like are being taken away. And I don't even know. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if it's going to mean that I can't play piano into my old age, or if it means that I'll actually be fine and I will be able to. I mean, it's obviously not going to help. But I don't know. I honestly just don't know. I don't have clarity. I'm going to see another doctor here shortly, but what I marvel at is kind of where I started today, which is that I can go so deep down that realization direction, that on that path, I can kind of see so deep. And then just be catapulted right back into fear. And that's when I watched that happen yesterday, so pronouncedly, so quickly and pronouncedly, because it kept me up for a couple hours as I was falling asleep. I realized that this is my practice right now. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. We'll see. But I know that when you leave me alone, it's like left alone in my, just the psychic presence, to kind of like, no distractions, no ability to use to sort of cast my attention about and grab hold of things that might occupy me or entertain me or console me. That space is where all deep spiritual practice happens. It's in that. It's in that void. It's going to the place that's big and unknown. And there's something there. It's not nothingness. But our ego has a real hard time with it. Because our ego actually is completely insignificant in that space. The ego is completely obliterated by that space. It has no chance. It's like a human body flying through outer space. What chance do we have? Not much. And when we connect with that size, that level of cosmic scope and depth, because remember, that's where we are. We're on this tiny little ball in this gargantuan, unimaginably immense universe. And we're on one little part of the little ball. And I'm having fear about my right hand being injured. The universe is not concerned about that. And I feel that when I go to that place, or my ego feels that when I go to that place, and I have to keep letting go. So, I suppose I'm coming up with another reason why, opportunities like this are a gift. Fear is a gift, or not. Fear is not a gift, but the opportunity to face fear and to see through it, to know that we are something that transcends it, and that by letting go of those parts of us that are afraid, we transform more and more into the thing that is into the part of us that is completely beyond fear. But this is my practice right now. I can tell I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where it's going. But I have this sense, every time I come through a moment like last night, a rough kind of like just, I face the void and have to breathe through it. Whenever that happens, I also come out the other side and I'm like, oh, I have fewer problems than I thought I did. Something about facing that level of kind of what feels like existential ness existentialness. Like things that I was worried about just don't feel significant anymore when I come out of that. It's not because they aren't things that need to be addressed. It's just that there's a certain level of like, oh, I see. Yeah, no, that's not important. Here's what matters. Here's my focus should be. Here's where my focus does not need to be. And that's always how, it's just about the most valuable thing that you can realize. So I suspect there'll be more of this, where that came from. But I really do appreciate you. Speaking in this way is a huge part of doing the processing and clarifying. I've started this post as a practice of coming to the highest place I could access it on any given day and speaking from there about my circumstances. And man, that comes in handy when you got, big shit happening. So, thank you. Appreciate you.